Whatever they will say is not in line with the Sahaba. They don't have a Sahabi to quote to justify what they're saying. No Sahabi said to the Prophet ﷺ, what do you mean by the last third of the night that Allah descends to the lowest heaven? What do you mean by the hand of Allah? What do you mean by the eyes of Allah? What do you mean by the face of Allah? They never had this discussion. They accepted them as they are. Who has this philosophical discussion? They do. They will give you a distorted interpretation that they come up with on their own. I'm telling you, this brother will expose himself so many times. He will be forced to twist his words and carefully select them in order, because as a deviant, as a rejecter of the truth, you have so many hurdles and so many thorns that you have to avoid during your path. You're forced to avoid so many things to justify your deviance that you cannot. It is very similar to the claim of the disbelievers that the Prophet ﷺ wrote the Quran, or that he came up with the Quran on his own. And we respond to them by saying, over the span of 23 years, it is impossible for you not to contradict yourself, to be consistent and coherent the whole time. So those people, they don't have that confidence that we have. We don't have to duck and avoid and shun anything in our path and our explanation, our principles. They do. That's why you see him selecting words so that he doesn't dig his own grave. But because we know what's going on, we know what's behind the scenes, we know what these people come from, how they think, we will be able to expose the shovels and the holes that they are planting for themselves, that they are digging for themselves, before we bury them in them. So look now, he's saying, that's how it's preserved. From this scholar to this scholar. He cannot say from the Sahabi, because no Sahabi taught what the Ashariyyah Aqeedah teaches. Plain and simple. No Sahabi taught what the Ashariyyah Aqeedah. So he had to stop. Second of all, he's using this ayah. This ayah is actually a refutation against him. The Ashariyyah Aqeedah is a direct negation of the ayah. إِنَّا نَحْنُ نَزَّلْنَا الذِّكْرَ وَإِنَّا لَهُ لَحَافِظُونَ. By you asserting that up until Abu Hasan al-Ash'ari and Ibn Mawdud al-Maturidi, the belief of the Muslims was not preserved and available to the common people is absurd. It's absolutely absurd. So to claim that until those two came along, there was no proper preservation, because whatever they will say is not in line with the Sahaba. They don't have a Sahabi to quote to justify what they're saying. No Sahabi said to the Prophet ﷺ, what do you mean by the last third of the night that Allah descends to the lowest heaven? What do you mean by the hand of Allah? What do you mean by the eyes of Allah? What do you mean by the face of Allah? They never had this discussion. They accepted them as they are. Who has this philosophical discussion? They do. They will give you a distorted interpretation that they come up with on their own. So this is a direct negation of the ayah. So I ask you, find me a place where a Sahabi said Allah is not in a place. Isn't this your Aqeedah? Your Aqeedah is, you say, no, we're not, Allah is not above the throne physically. Allah himself, his essence is not above the throne. That's what they believe. They deny that Allah is above the throne. They accept the word, but they say there's no meaning. Right? The words have no meaning. So basically Allah Azza wa Jall's speech is in vain. Allah's speech does not deliver any useful information, according to them. Because you cannot say the meaning behind it. Affirming the meaning makes the apparent of the Quran kufri. يعني أقسم بالله, another level of junoon. على كل حال, find me a single Sahabi who said the word Allah is not in a place, which is something that you guys say comfortably day in and day out. يلا لشوف. Or find me a Sahabi who said Allah is not a physical being. Also, you are refuting yourself. If the meaning is not preserved, then what is the use? If the meaning is not preserved, then what is the use? So all your tafweed is in vain, because that is exactly what your belief is about. Just contradict.